Are you recording this? Of life.
Get her face.
And it rules us all. Dude, her paws are out like she's like mocking me, like, oh, I'm a dog. Oh, look at me, I'm a human.
I'm a human.
Oh, I record a podcast and drink beer.
She's trying to fly.
I walk on 2 legs like an idiot.
Ooh, stupid I am.
Who am I?
I'm bipedal. What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa, and with me as always, it's the great and powerful, it's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What is up, Baruskis?
Tonight's brew is from, actually, I don't know. Oh, wait. Where's it from? Crooked Can Brewing Co. It's their Space Cowboy, and always going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? Well, if you've been keeping score, this thing has gone into places that we maybe thought or maybe didn't think that they were going to go.
Yeah.
And as of this recording, because again these things have moved so fast,
Forever outdated.
the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef seems to have died down to a simmer. Mm-hmm. It's just sizzling right now.
Yeah.
As of this recording.
Yeah.
So we will get into the ramifications and repercussions of the beef.
That's right. And we will also jump into just ordinary folks beefing on an old song.
Yeah.
Apparently, Twitter has been going back and forth this past week about Donald Glover's This Is America. And whether it's cringe, whether it's toothless, whether, white people just like putting it on to seem like they are supporters of
Down for
black
the
folk.
cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of yapping about it, and we feel like adding to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to yap away. And last but not least, there's a lot of video game news that has come out in the past week, so we are going to delve into Helldivers, Xbox. What was the last thing? There's one more. Oh, and the Switch. We finally got some updates on the new Switch. So we're gonna dive into all that and maybe some more video game stuff. I don't know. We'll see where we go from here. But before we get into any of that, we got to start this show. So without further ado, it's episode 425 of the One Beer In podcast. That's how you do an intro.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when
Not that
it's
bad.
bright out. 4 to 5 a.m.
This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew and we see where that one brew takes us. As I said, I am Marco Dupa. That is Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
That's right.
And that guy's going to have some more information about what we're drinking tonight. Obi, take it away.
Here we go. This is the Space Cowboy, spelled with a I. Cowboy.
Cowboy.
It is a hazy double IPA coming in at 8.5% out of Crooked Can Brewing in Winter Garden, Florida. Thank God Almighty, we have a cold read on the can.
On the can.
It's like old times. Goes as follows. This double New England style IPA has resinous pine notes and tropical atmospheres of pineapple, guava, papaya, and citrus. Brewed with craft oats and wheat malt to create a constellation of flavors that is galactically juicy with a conspicuous haze. So, sit back and prepare to be transported to a galaxy far away. It's yeehaw time in T-minus 10, 9, 8... ...
I was about to say.
Cheers, Andy, Alan, and Todd.
Okay.
There
We're
you
supposed
go.
to know who they are?
I assume brewmasters.
Okay. They got three? There
Three
can
of
be
them? Yeah.
Only one master. All right.
Yeah.
So, I honestly don't even remember what we said on last week's episode about the beef, like where we were at. I know we were like 2 tracks behind.
Yeah, as we so often are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, we
even if we got that up on time, we still would have
been behind. Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah.
Which I've been seeing with other people who usually don't talk about hip hop. It is incredible the breadth that this thing has had.
Yeah.
The traction of people that I've seen it on like video game podcasts.
Remind me, I want to talk about that.
Okay. I've seen it on obviously music podcasts.
Yeah.
I've seen it on movie podcasts. Everyone is talking about this.
Yeah.
It is reached critical mass.
Yeah.
Like the Zeitgeist knows of this now.
It's the biggest, probably the biggest pop culture news in the past couple of weeks, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no one else was around. None of the people who are none of those people who are outside of hip hop were paying attention to hip hop when there was more high profile beefs before.
Or they were too young, like even for like 50 Cent, Ja Rule.
Yeah, that's yeah. Some of them probably too young for that.
The internet wasn't really where it is now.
Yeah, I mean,
social media.
If we had Twitter when 50 Cent and Ja Rule were going at it heavy, oh my God. Can
We
you
gonna
imagine
clap back.
the memes, oh man.
50 Cent would have been having a lot of fun.
Oh, he would have had a field day. He already was
still-
having a
yeah,
field day
he's-
without the internet
still
being
is.
what it is today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so missed opportunities maybe.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that there's been a beef this high profile in this modern era where everybody can have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
So it's unprecedented. We grew up and we were just too young for Biggie and Pac, but we were right at the perfect age for Jay and Nas.
Yeah.
So, we're not new to. I mean, we had the Beef DVDs, the Smack DVDs, the shit that like people. I remember 50 Cent, or I'm sorry, Game going to like 50 Cent's Connecticut mansion, like walking around with a camera and
Yeah.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff that like people who pay attention to this kind of shit. This is not new news, but it was still crazy to watch in the modern era. Two of the most high-profile artists in the world sling like fifth-grade insults at each other.
Yeah. Yep.
And it started that way, and then it ballooned and exploded into some pretty heavy accusations on both sides.
Yeah.
So,
And then again, the tribalization of everyone not having to, but a lot of diehards on both sides picking a side.
Yeah.
And taking it personally.
Yeah.
Having a vested interest in who wins.
yeah, I would say that the consensus is that Kendrick won
Yeah.
on account of the last song, the Heart Part 6,
Yeah.
where number one, Drake does a number of petty things. Number one being he stole the name of Kendrick's very, very famous series, The Heart.
Yeah.
He jumps the line on it. And he levels some pretty serious accusations in this song. But the consensus is that he sounds defeated.
He does. I think he, especially the end, like last 10, 15 seconds of him just talking.
Yeah.
He sounds so tired.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to. I'm
man.
like tired, man. Come on.
Like how many times? He's like, yeah, we know we're gonna drop a song. We know you're gonna drop like 20 songs after this. So just get.
We
it
know
over
you have
with.
another like 9 in the chamber, so go
and
ahead.
Then, and then Kendrick was like, no, I don't. Or maybe I do. I don't know. Maybe I'll make you sweat.
Which is why I think this is the perfect place to stop.
Yeah.
Because stop the count.
Yeah.
Where we sit right now, like you said, consensus with most people who are open to either of these artists, quote unquote, winning this battle, kind of agree that Kendrick won. So why like adding any more to it could only, I won't say could only hurt, but has the potential to hurt. Whereas doing nothing at this point, I think you just win.
Yeah.
It's over.
To be able to drop Not Like Us, and there's speculation that he's going to put out a video.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be like the coup de grace.
Sure.
But otherwise, yeah, I agree. I think this is the perfect place to just go. Pretty much everyone is on my side. you put out what was supposed to be this devastating song where you admit to feeding my camp false information and me taking the bait, which there's a lot of back and forth on how, first of all, how smart that was if it's true, and also how true is it to begin with,
and logically also how stupid it would be to do that and not immediately go, ha, fooled you.
Yeah, and
it's
have
not
the
true.
evidence to back up the fact that he had fooled him.
Right.
Because
it made him look stupid.
Yeah.
It made him look bad.
Yeah.
It made, like, if Drake put out that information that includes him being a PDF file and taking Ozempic and all these other things that make him look weak and like a bad person. Not that if you take Ozempic you're a bad person, but it's just one of the things that was levied at Drake.
Yeah.
If you do that. Oh, and also let's not forget the whole hidden daughter thing.
Yeah.
If you did all of that, you are underlining the things that everyone thinks of you.
Yeah.
Because it's so obvious that they believed it.
Yeah.
Everyone believed it. Well, not everyone, but I'd say the large swath of people believed it, or at least enough to find you in a place you don't want to be right now.
Right.
Which is losing this battle.
Well, and the thing is, not only did a lot of people believe it, but when there was rumors coming out that he had fed him this information and that maybe it's lies, maybe he did it on purpose. Why? The vast majority of people were like, still sounded good though.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's when you know you've lost, dude. When the whole crowd is like, oh damn, that's crazy, he said that about you, and then you can come back and be like, well, it's not true, and everyone's like, yeah, but it sounded good.
Who cares?
Yeah, we don't care if it's true.
Yeah.
So he puts out the Hard Part 6 after Not Like Us, and I really advise you guys to actually listen to these songs and not like watch TikToks on them, and actually like delve into the music itself. But we're here to talk about what could be, what's happening, what could happen now going forward. Okay, and I think it's pretty fascinating because, like you were saying before, the fact that it has risen outside of our bubble and is part of the zeitgeist now.
Yeah. This
is going to be a moment in time where people will look back and be like, it's one of those things on like when people go, remember X date on Twitter when remember when Trump got elected? Mm-hmm. Remember COVID on Twitter?
Yeah.
Remember, when this person died, or you remember like these significant moments in time cemented on the internet. Mm-hmm. This is going to be one of those moments. So it's not something that Drake can kind of just brush away. Yeah. And because there's, like with the Pusha T stuff, he was able to just kind of back away, allude to the fact that he's not responding because if he does, he's going to have to get some real killers involved and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Pretty much the consensus on that was that he had lost it from a lyrical standpoint.
Sure.
But Pusha T isn't as high profile as Kendrick is.
We talked about that last week. It's like, how did this go so much bigger than the last one did with Pusha T? Because obviously Pusha T was telling the truth. Right. Those weren't lies.
Right. So, everything that he said, even outside the, like I said last week, even outside the you are hiding a child. Yeah. Even outside of that, the other stuff seems to be things that is a real big concern for him. And the thing is, people are resurfacing these old videos of Drake, for instance.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where he is just an absolute cornball.
Yeah.
And I guess people already kind of knew this and chose to be like, well, he was younger and now he's older and people change and blah, blah, blah. He is who he is. But with the backdrop of the stuff that Kendrick has said about him and the way that both Kendrick and Rick Ross and Pusha have framed him.
Yeah.
You go back and you watch those videos now and you're like, yeah, dude, maybe a lot of his stuff is performative. Maybe his blackness is a thing that he puts on and takes off whenever it's convenient for him, because a lot of that stuff is kind of damning. Even when he's when I was 18, 19 years old, I was not, wearing the culture like a jacket I could take off. You code switch at work, but you don't just some of that stuff was like, ugh, ugh, brother.
I mean, he acted like an actor.
Yeah.
So I have to agree. I think it will be interesting to see how long the ramifications go for this.
Yeah.
Because I do think that even putting like the missing daughter or whatever, even saying that is completely false, even saying, some of the like individual details that Kendrick had are wrong, there is a lot that has been substantiated and a lot that, even if untrue, still paint him in a very bad light.
Yeah.
So whether it's the, being inappropriate with Millie Bobby Brown, which happened.
Yeah, that is a real thing
real.
That they both corroborated.
Yeah. Whether it's that, whether it's, like you said, the old videos of him code switching like crazy. The idea that he keeps his dad around to give him some kind of, leverage in the black community. Yeah. To look more real, to look more like a part of it. All of those things, we can't, unless there's literally an investigation, we can't know for sure. But the fact that they're out there, they're like brainworms, like they latch on to you when you see him now. Yeah. And the question is, can he come back from that in a way that makes you forget about it? In the way that he has done before. Because I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying it's going to be harder now because this is much higher profile than it was in the past.
Yeah. The thing is, when you become a meme, that shit lasts longer. Yeah. The stuff with Meek Mill, for instance, he won that battle partly because he said some really funny stuff in those records. And he said some stuff that like kind of people were like, it's pretty good. Like is this a world tour or your girls tour? Like that was pretty heavy because at the time Nicki Minaj was so mega popular. Sure. And it did seem like Meek Mill had kind of like hitched his wagon to her. And so when you say things that the culture is feeling or at least alluding to, and people and then people go, see, that's what I was talking about. It
substantiates your feelings,
right?
And you can go, right. And I'm not the only one.
Meek Mill wasn't good enough in that battle. He didn't take it seriously enough to win that war because he wasn't saying enough stuff with enough substance for people to latch onto, right? Mm-hmm. Pusha T was saying shit that people were starting to feel about him. Kendrick has now, over the course of 5-6 songs, is saying things that people are feeling more and more every day, whether you're Drake detractors or whether you're fans of him and some of his actions are questionable. You are substantiating these people's feelings, and when you get into like the veins of the culture and you say things that people go, oh yeah, you know what? It's like that that gif from The Wire when he's like, oh, when Bodhi like, oh shit, man. It's like when you can get people to think like that. Yeah, like you said, that's a stench that's harder to wipe off.
It's true.
He can come back with but the thing is, and I think somebody else made this point. I for the life of me, I can't remember who it was. It was somebody on a podcast. I don't listen to other podcasts. But they made the point that Drake was able to withstand Pusha T partly because he was still putting out really good music. Yeah. Drake has put out 3 subpar projects in a row.
That's a good point.
And Drake fans, even Drake fans, have to admit, unless you're a stan, and I've seen some people who are like, honestly, Nevermind's the best album I've ever heard. But if you're not lying to yourself, then you have to come to grips with the fact that he's put out 3 subpar projects in a row. So now, not only does he have to beat these allegations, he has to beat the perception of who he is. He also has to put out a really, really good comeback album.
Yeah, and not only that, but it seems like, and this is something I saw on Twitter that made me go, I didn't think about it that way. It seems like a lot of these fellow artists, especially in the genre and around it, really don't like him.
Right. Yeah.
And have been putting up a front just to, keep it kosher.
Yeah.
I didn't mean like that. But but it seems like they've been putting on a happy face for him just because he's one of the biggest artists in our generation.
Yeah.
But deep down, it seems like they're all kind of turning their back on him.
Yeah. And he's got half the game going. It's finally safe to say fuck this guy.
We're saying it? We're doing it?
It's crazy.
So
I mean, he lost Metro Boomin and DJ Mustard and probably The Alchemist.
Yeah.
Those are 3 mega producers.
Yeah.
That in this battle chose sides.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention the entire thing happening with The Weeknd.
Yeah.
On the side, which seems way more serious than anything.
So weird. Yeah, that one.
Canada, man.
Yeah, Canada.
Crazy up there. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, it seems like he's made more enemies than friends.
Yeah.
And
who do you collaborate with after this? Because none of them came to your defense either. That's the other thing. He had no one, no high-profile rappers, except for like a handful, like Gilly the Kid for some reason. And then Jay Electronica, I was really surprised, put out a tweet, and he was like, yo, Drake is killing y'all boys. And I was like, what are you doing? The only people, guys like that, are just upset that Kendrick is what they should have been or could have been, but they just weren't good enough to do.
I've seen that take. Yeah.
And I like Lupe Fiasco. Sure. I like Jay Electronica. I was listening to Jay Electronica today.
Wow.
So I am a fan. Not a fan of some of the things he says and some of his beliefs. So that stuff makes me feel weird. But that's a whole other conversation that we can have.
Art and artists, baby.
Yeah. But other than that, pretty much everybody has chosen a side or stayed silent, and your silence
speaks volumes.
So it's gonna be really interesting to see going forward who he can even collaborate with.
Well, and as you mentioned, the stink is on him right now. So I'd say within the next 6 months, anyone who collaborates with him is kind of guilty by association.
Yeah.
So without somebody really riding for him, nobody's going to want to touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Right.
Especially, like you said, because the output's been going down a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as quality.
And these and honestly, dude, it's also the content of the accusations.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be called fake. You can get past fake. To be called
yeah.
That's a big thing for someone to say about you, and then other people go, yeah, he might be.
Right.
You know?
The fact that you have to refute it in a song means you've lost.
Yeah.
Because if you think, which is true, people believe that of you, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
You've done
That's
something
a big
wrong.
Issue when people are like,
yeah, I can see him doing that.
Story.
I can see him doing that. Yeah. Yeah, that checks out.
That's not good, man.
Right.
That's not good. That's some shit you need to
you have to address.
Yeah.
You have to address that.
But the thing is, there's no way for him to not sound like a PDF file.
Yeah.
Without, if he addresses it like he did on the Hard Part 6, he addressed it directly, and even that was like, ugh, that sounds like you're guilty.
he addressed it very poorly.
Yeah, it was not a good way to go about it.
I want to say, as far as my opinion goes, that was a partial misstep.
Mm-hmm.
I think for people who were already siding with Drake in this battle, it was enough to say told you, see, he was doing the thing the entire time. It's exactly what we thought.
Yeah.
But I think for the vast majority of people, they saw that as, first of all, him having to dismiss rumors that people clearly believed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have to dismiss them as strongly as he did. Secondly, getting the content of Mother I Sober completely wrong.
Yeah, that was a big misstep.
Completely wrong. And it's supposed to be a slam dunk. And even if it was, I want to say that only makes him look worse. Because his entire thing is, his entire like idea behind mentioning that song is like, oh, well, Kendrick was abused as a kid, so therefore that's why it's on his mind. Oh, I feel sorry for you, but you're a scumbag anyway. Like, that's supposed to get us on your side.
Yeah.
And I, for one, think that basically no holds barred, man. If you're in a diss battle, you say whatever you got to say.
Yeah.
But that makes him look worse.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him look stronger. It doesn't make him look better. It makes him look worse.
Well, I don't know if there's any person on the planet who's like, who's going to side with somebody who's like, you were a victim, therefore you empathize with victims, and that makes you a bad person?
Right. And that's why you hate me.
You hate me because you're a victim, and you think that I am victimizing, and so you empathize with those victims. You're such a loser.
Right.
Like,
right.
Who, unless you're a psychopath,
right.
most people are going to be like, hey, man, that's probably not the angle you want to come at.
Bad angle. Bad angle.
Bad angle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, two big missteps on an otherwise, I thought, pretty decent song. I honestly, when I was listening to it, I didn't really get the he sounds exhausted thing. It did sound like he wants this to be over.
Yeah.
But from what I pulled from it was he was like, the shit that you put out is like not even worth responding to, which in and of itself is probably not a good way to go about it, because it is worth responding to. Absolutely, because the entire internet was like, you need to say something.
Yeah.
So to come at it from the angle of, bro, I'm too successful to even like, I don't even know why I'm engaging you with this. Yeah. The whole thing with like, I knew you was gonna come with that Epstein angle. It's like, you knew,
and that was your plan.
You anticipated that. What's wrong with you? So yeah, the angle of I am too big to even engage with this. I am doing you a favor by responding to you.
Yeah.
Maybe
you're welcome.
That probably would have worked 3 songs ago.
Yeah.
If he had just been like, yo, you're not worth the effort. Mm-hmm. But you already put the effort in. So you don't get to come 6 songs later and be like, this ain't even, I got better things to do. No, you don't.
No.
We've all been sitting here around the fire waiting for you to.
We've been watching it.
Yeah. So you don't get to bow out and be like, I'm gonna go to San Tropez. I got nothing. I don't even want to do this anymore. No. So he tried. The consensus is that it wasn't enough. Kendrick has done enough at this point to win the battle. These are all the repercussions for for Drake. But what about for Kendrick? I mean, he won, but there's still some serious stuff that was levied at him too, that some people say is that he needs to address.
Well, I think that there is something to the idea that like people don't want to look further into the allegations that Drake levied of him also being like an absentee father and him being a wife beater essentially. Because he is looked at as the good guy in this battle.
They don't want to believe those things. They
don't
want to.
They don't even want to entertain it. They don't even want to look into it because they're afraid that if they do, they're going to find out that both of them are shitty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I understand that, and I agree completely. I don't know. I'm not sure what evidence he can levy outside of doing what Drake did, which would be a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think it would be smart for him to address those things directly and be like, I don't beat my wife.
Yeah.
Like, you probably don't do that.
No.
I do think that, I mean, it probably would be good to just be around your family. Like, if he just posted a video of him with his family and everyone's happy and stuff, I think that would be enough for people to go, see. I mean, there will be people who think like this is just performative. He probably told them to do this so that he can win, blah 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 blah. But
Seconds later, he punched her.
I think as long as you get the majority of people going like, look, because there was all these people doing these investigations about like they sold their home and now he lives in New York
yeah.
and all this stuff, and then there was videos of his wife at the penthouse or posts of her at the penthouse with their kids. This all, I would just like to say for the record, Yana, the people who got into this beef because it reminds them of like reality TV, gossipy, I understand that completely because even as I'm saying these words, I feel like I'm talking about like Real Housewives.
Is this Wendy Williams? What's going on?
Yeah. When we're talking about people going on Twitter and investigating tweets and pulling up different Instagram posts and seeing the dates of all these posts.
What's the timestamp on that picture?
Yeah, exactly. That kind of stuff. I understand completely why you would, as an outsider, look at this shit and be like, yeah, it's just like fucking reality TV. Because it is.
Sure. Yeah. It's all drama.
However, it still does kind of bother me a little bit. It irks me. And this is kind of the point that I was going to make earlier.
Yeah.
Does irk me a little bit with people who don't normally listen to rap music or don't even know. Like I saw some post that was like it went viral. It was on Twitter, and it was a screenshot of a TikTok. I sound like such a fucking. And the screenshot of a TikTok on Twitter, and it was this girl who the big caption on it was. Is this the kind of stuff that normally comes out of hip hop? Like, maybe I should be listening to Kendrick more. And then there was a comment on the TikTok that was like, Swifties would really relate to Kendrick because they both are super like lyrical artists. What? And it was like,
what? What?
Like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
so
no.
I don't know. It's stuff like that. It seems very voyeuristic to me. Watching people who like seeing video game podcasts, film podcasts,
Everyone.
People like Philip DeFranco, like shit like that. It's just like, dude,
Ethan Klein
yeah,
talked on it.
I don't want to hear fucking shit from Ethan Klein, bro.
I saw a clip and I went, I can't do this because you're getting it all wrong.
Exactly. There's no context. They don't understand these songs when they listen to them. They don't understand the culture itself.
The background is wrong. Like you haven't and I understand you haven't been up to date with this.
Yeah.
And you're trying to cram it all in.
Yeah.
You're doing bad on the test,
right,
though. You know,
exactly.
Like, it's
you should
clear.
have studied beforehand.
Yes.
You don't get to just crack open the textbook the night before the test.
No, it's so obvious when you have been studying this stuff and you have been a fan of it for so long when somebody's not and they jump into it out of the blue because it's popular.
And I'm not saying don't have fun with it. Because the people who are having fun with it, I'm having fun with it too. Yeah. This has been fun. It's been fun to watch. It's been fun to... I'm not saying don't have fun with it. I will say, though, if you are going to levy any kind of criticisms or any kind of, astute observations, then you need to have the full context. You don't get to jump in the fourth quarter and be like, I don't like the way he dribbled the ball.
Right.
Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So if you want to have fun with it, by all means. Yeah.
I'm happy that this has reached this critical mass. I think it's good for the culture. I think it's good for Kendrick. I don't know if it's so good for Drake, but I think it's good for hip hop. I think it has gotten people plugged back in that maybe haven't been for a while. And what if they stay? Who knows? Maybe not.
I don't know though. I don't know if they are. I don't know if the right people have been plugged in. Yeah. I think it's the people who like gossipy shit. I think the media takeouts and the TMZ kind of people.
I mean, that's a perfect segue into an utter villain in this in this recent beef and others, Vlad.
So DJ Vlad, babe, man. that fucking guy. I've had a bone to pick with DJ Vlad for at least 6-7 years.
Anyone who's been paying attention has had a bone to pick with DJ Vlad.
Yeah, he is exactly. Yeah, I mean, just You can say he was a DJ for a while and he made mixtapes or blah 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 blah. He is a culture. He is the very definition of a culture vulture. If you want to know when people say some shit like that, who is that? What does that mean? Look up DJ Vlad, watch some of his content. That's exactly what a culture vulture is.
Yeah.
So he goes on Twitter and he says something about the mix of the song, of all things. And he's like, it's not really working for me. The mix ain't it. And everyone's like, shut up.
What are you talking about?
And he got just
annihilated.
Barrage. He didn't answer every accusation and every tweet that was levied at him. He went after one specific person, a professor at Princeton, a black woman.
Yeah.
And tried to get her fired.
Yeah.
Through Twitter.
Tagged Princeton about 5 times.
And over the course of this thread, over and over and over again, tried to play, the reverse racism thing. And tried to get Princeton involved. And then the internet does what the internet does. And they were like, do you even know who you're talking to? This is a Princeton professor. Oh, by the way, she is the niece of one of the best producers of all time, Darkchild. And then they were like, you interviewed Darkchild. You should know this shit because you want to be in the culture so goddamn bad.
But you don't care.
But you don't care.
Yeah.
And you'd rather get a...
Well, no. First, what he did was levied his own education.
Yeah.
And said, I went to... Where'd he go? He went to, like, fucking...
I don't know. I don't remember.
Somewhere fancy.
Yeah.
Some fancy college.
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah. I also graduated from Princeton.
Yeah.
I graduated from here, and I taught here.
Right.
And
that's when he...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her argument, first of all, is like that you shouldn't be talking about this. This is about our culture.
Yeah.
Black culture.
Well, I mean, and even from a there are some people who are like, it's unfair of her to say that you can't comment on this because you're white.
Sure.
And I saw some black people saying that. And then I saw other people calling those black people coons, but that's neither here nor there.
On Twitter?
What?
What?
Just
Elon Musk's Twitter?
I will say that anybody who comes at a conversation with nuance and understanding of your privilege in that conversation can talk about anything that they want up to a point.
Well, you just said the magic word that they're instantly going to stop listening to you.
Privilege?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing.
They just went,
you can get upset with that if you want, but the fact of the matter is this: we all have it to varying degrees.
Yeah.
And if you can just accept that and acknowledge it, you can have these conversations. But when you don't and just make it seem like, white people can't talk about black stuff, it's like, well, you can, but you got to know at what point you don't know what you're talking about, and you can't. Yeah, there is a point where you can't.
You need to understand the conversation you're entering.
Yeah.
The people you're talking about, the culture you're talking about.
Yeah.
All these things are important. And to act like, as a white person, you have the same level of understanding because you've, quote, been in the culture long enough.
Yeah.
You have not.
You have not.
You have not existed as a black person.
Right.
Therefore, you don't get the same depth of knowledge as a black person would.
And he multiple times undercut his own argument and also proved the point that everyone was making multiple times. The chief example, which I thought was amazing, was to pull up Prince's Spotify numbers and be like, look, Kiss does really well. Kiss from a Rose. Not Kiss from a Rose.
What?
When Doves Cry. I don't know why I thought Kiss from a Rose. I think this fucking...
Uh-oh.
When Doves Cry, 2 of his biggest streamed songs. And then he's like, look at the one that didn't do well. When I Was Your Boyfriend. Or When I Was Your Girlfriend. Boyfriend. Girlfriend? I don't remember. Boyfriend? And everyone was like, When I Was Your Girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he wrote that. He wrote it for somebody else, but... Everyone was like, you are just proving the point that you don't know what you're talking about, because culturally, that's one of Prince's most popular songs. Everybody loves that song. Culturally. Yeah. Now, maybe the masses like When Doves Cry.
Sure,
The masses like Kiss. but black folks like When I Was Your Girlfriend.
Sure.
So you're just showing that you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was such an easy, like, look at you. You're doing it to yourself. We don't even have to do it.
And I think the argument against him is only so strong because you have to understand that he has made an entire career off of black culture.
Yeah.
An entire career. That's what it's been about. So when his rebuttal to being called out,
Girlfriend. If I Was Your Girlfriend. That's
Okay.
the song.
You're right. You're right.
I was right. I just had to make sure.
When your rebuttal to being called out as being someone who can't possibly understand all the nuance involved with a rap beef that does have so much intrinsically to do with blackness.
Yeah.
Because that is a core tenet of this entire beef as well.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of people get this mixed up. It's not about the fact that Drake is mixed. It's about the fact that Drake uses his side of black culture as a costume.
Yeah.
And that rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah. And that's not even to say that that's the truth. That's how
That's
some
the
people
accusation.
feel about him. Yeah.
That's the accusation.
And he has to kind of respond to that accusation, and he hasn't. And he hasn't said anything to the effect of like, I live this. This is my life. In fact, he has said things that people go, you're just proving the point.
Well, and okay, to go again with Drake, what has led people to believe that that is possible is that he has shown his lackadaisical ways with taking culture in the past, not just black culture, but all kinds of diaspora,
Right.
and stealing accents and beats and sounds and slang, everything. Like, he's done so unabashedly and picked and chosen. And I mean, to his credit, it has worked for him.
Yeah.
It is that he has chosen correctly.
Yeah.
When he goes, I need some more island beats. Let's go for this.
Yeah.
And it works. It works.
Yeah. But now think about it. Going forward, it's like if he comes out with some like Afrobeat shit, and people are gonna be like, oh, here it is, fucking Drake stealing again.
Right.
Taking another culture, putting on another accent.
Yeah.
Like, how is he? I don't know, man. I think he might want to disappear for a while.
I think he needs to.
He said he was going to disappear for a bit. And then he came back with another EP of like 7 songs. And people were like, I thought you were going away. He needs to just dip out of the spot. I know that people can't help themselves and they need artists to drop every year.
So academics, you saw what he said?
No, what he said?
He got emotional.
Of course
on
he
his
did.
stream, probably because he was drunk, but he got emotional talking about the beef by saying, you know, if Kendrick has all this potential, which he's shown in this beef, because academics, to his credit, has said that Kendrick has put out some good songs.
Yeah.
He said that the culture, that hip hop itself needs him to put out more, because Drake, wearing the crown of hip hop, did what he should do, which is put out a bunch of albums.
No, I disagree.
Everybody's like, "What are you talking about?"
No,
We'd rather have an album every 5 years if that's a classic every time you come out.
Exactly. And I do like the revisionist history. Speaking of, we're gonna get into that in a minute. But I do like the revisionist history around Mr. Morale. Now all of a sudden, people are like, you know what? It is a good album, and it's like, yeah, you know what? It was a good album when it came out. Yeah. But fine. If you want to come to it late because now you're on Kendrick's side in this beef, fine, whatever.
Sure.
If that's what it takes.
You know what I think actually is going to work for Kendrick with all these newcomers to hip hop in general.
Yeah.
They're going to go to Mr. Morale first, probably.
Yeah.
And that's his most artistic, kind of out of the box experimental type of album.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to win him a lot of people.
Right. Because then they're going to go backwards. And they're going to listen to the Pulitzer Prize winning Damn.
Yeah.
And then they're going to listen to Pimp a Butterfly, one of the best jazz rap albums of all time.
And by that time, they're already hooked.
Yeah.
You know, like it's good. So I think it may work out.
Yeah. I don't know. Doesn't seem like he has any kind of way to fail. Unless unless he doesn't know when to quit.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that he can do as far as misstep in this battle is to continue when he's already won.
I think
people will go, enough is enough.
I think everyone's kind of hit their limit.
Yeah.
I think we're done. I think
Yeah.
we're all done here.
Yeah.
We've heard what we need to.
probably
We've made
all.
all of our decisions as far as who we believe, who we are, backing in this for winning. It's over.
Last thing I'll say about it, all the people with their takes of like, there's a real war going on.
Oh, shut up.
Exactly.
God.
Yeah. Just the fuck up.
Insufferable.
Yeah. I saw a couple of takes. I saw a couple of like professional takes.
Yeah. I saw that article. The headline was like, it's hard to care about a rap war when a real one's going on.
I think that was Rolling Stone. But there was multiple people outside of that, like on Twitter and like on, just with that take of like, it's hard for me to pay attention to like a rap beef when, and it's like, bro,
Then don't. Shut up.
You're not better than anybody because what? I'm supposed to believe that you sit in a computer chair and are 24/7 digesting the news. You're watching coverage of the
Gaza.
conflict in Gaza. I'm supposed to sit here and believe that like 24/7 you're just getting blasted with women and children being bombed. And you're just sitting there going like, this is what I need.
It's like Clockwork Orange.
Yeah. Like fucking Street Fighter when they put him in that pod and like make him watch.
Yeah, just war.
Exactly. It's just
And
bombs.
then they
going off
switch it to the good side, and it's just Martin
Martin
Luther
Luther
King for some reason.
I have a dream.
Birds and puppies, and
Yeah,
that's Blanco.
Sure.
That's how Blanco is made.
Yeah, sure, dude. That's no,
Makes
no,
perfect
no,
sense.
Seriously, yeah. You're definitely doing that all day. You're not listening to any music at all. You can't pay attention to. Listen, I can chew gum and walk at the same time.
Well,
I can listen to
takes
music.
away from the plight of the Palestinians.
Apparently, yeah.
Listening to rap beef
Takes
keeps
away.
you from
Yeah,
being able to save innocent women and children.
Yeah. Shout out to Macklemore.
Oh yeah,
He was like, "Now's my time.
I got it." Hey, I got it.
I got this." It's a good song.
It is.
It's a good song. I'm not gonna front. It's a good song.
He went surprisingly hard.
He did.
Yeah,
He did. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna take
Good for
anything
him.
away from him. But
Good
it's
for him.
so funny
It's really random.
for Macklemore of
Yeah.
all people to
Being
be
the
like,
guy.
I can't listen to this Kendrick and Drake beef when there's beef between Gaza and in the Middle East. Israelis. Like, oh shit! Macklemore decided to wake up and
He chose violence.
Yeah.
He chose nonviolence.
I'm not gay, but if I was, those people deserve rights. Cool, Mac. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Macklemore.
Anyway. Okay, let's talk about another guy who had the Zeitgeist in the palm of his hands for a little bit.
Yeah.
Not Macklemore, not Kendrick Lamar.
No.
Somewhere in between.
Grammy-winning Macklemore.
Grammy winning. Ugh, man. Don't
Was it Macklemore and Ryan Lewis?
Ryan Lewis. The heist. And
The
a
heist.
heist it was. The heist of the century.
How ironic!
You know how things go on Twitter and just in the culture, period.
Yeah.
People wake up and then one day the thing that everybody loved, they go, you know what? That thing actually sucks.
Or the thing that everyone hated, they go, you know what? That's actually a classic.
Shout out to Vice, who I think spearheaded this movement of like, we're going to write an op-ed
Yeah.
about the thing that, you know what? Everyone liked that thing. Guess what? It actually kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And in this long trend that continues to this day, we have now the revisionist history about This Is America, the single from Donald Glover, a.k.a. Childish Gambino.
Childish Gambino. The great Bambino.
So now all of a sudden, everyone is treating it like the Phantom Menace in reverse, where we're all pretending like the song sucked. We don't know why it got so successful. We never liked it. Don't get it.
I
It's
never got it.
Super simple and what? Oh.
Get those Cheez-Its out of frame.
I thought you were done.
No, I'm not.
Good catch.
Just when you thought you were out, they pull you back in.
Did you see the Call Me Maybe cut of the Oh
No.
my God.
No.
Adam, you have to watch the Call Me Maybe.
Did they blend the songs?
They didn't blend the songs. They just played Call Me Maybe over the video itself.
Oh.
And it
Such a-
is eerie
and this is
how much it
crazy.
works.
Not
even
it's the same BPM, yeah.
It's the exact same BPM. And not just that, but when the kids come in and he builds into the second part of the chorus,
Yeah.
and the chords come in on the second part, and you get the strings, dude. It works so it's crazy. I was sitting
man.
there shocked at how well it works.
It's like Dark Side and Wizard of Oz.
Yes, exactly. Okay, all right. Listen. Somebody posted that it was the anniversary of This Is America.
Yeah.
And then
6-year anniversary.
You get a barrage of quote tweets saying this song actually kind of sucks, and I don't really understand. Like this was the height of art in 2018, and all these people going like, yeah, it fucking sucks, and like the lyrics are simple and blah blah blah, and I feel like I'm going insane because I was alive and awake in 2018 when this was the biggest song of the year. Everyone loved it. I don't remember seeing one fucking person coming out and going, it's actually not that good. I don't know what you guys are talking about. And if you felt that way in 2018 and you were too cowardly to have that opinion publicly, fuck you. You don't get to come out now that everybody is jumping on.
You have to remain silent.
Yeah, you
That
remain
is your curse.
silent.
If you don't speak up your opinion at the time, you can't talk about it ever again.
No. Because these people who are pretending like they didn't like the song to begin with, it's like, all right, fine, whatever. But you trying to come out and be like, you know what? I heard the song back then, and I didn't want to say anything because I thought like, oh, then shut the fuck up. Don't say anything now either. So sick of it.
A lot of the criticism being levied at the song is that it is simple, and people only like it because of the music video.
Okay.
I agree that it's simple. It's a very simple song.
I also agree that people like it because of the music video. That's because
yes,
that's the point.
right, right.
The video came out first.
Yeah.
The single didn't drop on DSPs for like a month. I think it was a little while, maybe a couple weeks, but it was a while before the song itself dropped. The video came out. The whole thing has to be taken in
As a complete piece
because
of art.
Because I don't know if you people know this, but like this song was never put on any albums. It wasn't a single to anything. It was a statement. He had been working on it for years. There's a long history of like how long it took him to make the song. You know, very famously, he came out and admitted that it started off as a Drake diss record for some reason, and then it switched into this thing because of like what was going on in the world at the time.
If only he knew. He was before the curve.
Exactly. He should have just stuck with it. We wouldn't be having this conversation, honestly, if he had just stuck with it and didn't try to make a political statement.
Sure.
I think that this happens to most songs that are overtly political without saying like a specific, without having like a specific stance, because the song itself is about Black America. It's about gun violence. It's about police violence. But lyrically, it is simple. I mean, I do think that that's the point. But to the uninitiated, you can take that and go, he's not really saying anything. So how deep is the song when the lyrics are, this is America over and over and over again, right? And it's the same thing with the historic, even fucking Macklemore. We were just talking about Macklemore.
Sure.
And that one song where he does talk about, I think it's called Same Love, or I forgot what the song, but the song where he's talking about gay marriage. It is it's corny because of the deliverer of the messenger itself, but the message itself it's a good
It's a great message, yeah.
So you look back on it and it's memey and kind of corny and cringy and stuff, and it's because of how overt the political message is.
Yeah, it comes off like the content of the music comes before the music itself, in a way.
Yeah.
I just think, I think looking at the lyrics only for This Is America does the song and music in general a disservice, because it is so much more than just lyrics.
Yeah.
If you're looking at this as like a rap song, you're like, what? There's nothing here. It's just a bunch of choruses,
not saying
really.
anything, yeah.
But if you look at it as a song, first of all, like you said, it is an audio and video thing. They go together. It's like watching a movie with just the sound on.
Yeah. Or it's like reading the script of a movie.
Sure.
And not getting like the full blunt force of what you're watching.
It takes away so much that is intrinsically part of the piece.
Yeah.
But even taking that away, I'm saying even take that away, even take away the visuals, the musicality of it itself, I think evokes a lot of emotion, and evokes a lot of what you're trying to get, or what he was trying to get across in the song. And I think it's so stupid if you're listening to music just for the lyrics. Like, whenever do you do that? What other time do you do that?
No, you never do that. In fact, there's a lot of people who are like, I don't even listen to the lyrics. I just listen to the music.
Right, but then in this case, it's like, oh, well, because the lyrics are so simple, it means nothing.
Right. And
it's a pointless song, and it was all, everyone put it up on this pedestal because white people liked it. I don't get the argument here, guys. Like, I just don't see it.
And it's a silly stance to take, and also it's an ahistorical stance to take, because there are multiple protest songs, political songs that are very simple in their message.
Yeah,
right,
they're like chants.
Because exactly, a lot of songs like that need to be simplified, because if I come in and I give you statistics about police violence and I start quoting the FBI's data and all this stuff,
is this System of a Down?
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. But if I come
look
at
up prison song,
if I come at it from a like, I'm gonna make a pop song, and in that pop song I'm gonna have this message about police violence, that works better. It goes over.
Bless you. What was that?
She's not on her toes today, man. I was thinking about Fela Kuti with a lot of his songs. It's protest music. It's dancing. It's this like constant drum of like, we are gonna be this is protest music, and it's gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna be sexy and sweaty, and it's also gonna have this message of like, what we're trying to say to the government and what we're trying to say to the people.
Puerto Rican bomba music is the same way.
Yeah. What about Calle 13?
Yeah.
Most of that is protest music, but it sounds amazing.
Sure.
And
well, sometimes you try to hide it, and sometimes you just put it out. You know? Like it depends. It depends on the severity of danger in which you're protesting.
No, I think that at the end of the day, the people, if you never liked the song, I'm not saying that the song is perfect, and I'm not saying that you're not allowed to dislike it, because I do. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it. And if you don't like it now, and even if your opinions changed on it, and you think like, you know what, maybe I was just wrapped up in the times, and
sure,
fine. I'm not saying those are invalid opinions to have, but I do think that if you're just jumping on the bandwagon of being like, you know what, that song did kind of fucking suck, it's just like you are leaving out so much context to now in 2024 be like, he wasn't saying anything and that song kind of fucking sucks, and to have that opinion now, it just seems like you're just Xing out so much context that would get you to where you are to have this opinion.
Sure.
And so it's like, it's stuff like that where I'm just like, I hate revisionist history, especially when it's stuff that's not that old.
Yeah.
Well,
it's happening faster and faster because of the internet.
Yeah, and because younger and younger
because of the internet.
And younger people are getting on the internet and they're going, I don't know what the whole fuss is about. That movie sucks, or that movie's actually pretty good. Like, dude, I'm seeing it now. Excuse me, because Sony put the Spider-Man movies back in theaters, and now people are watching it and they're going, this is a masterpiece. And it's like, no, man, We were there, okay? I'm 33. I was there. I watched Spider-Man 3 in the theater. I walked out with my friends, and we all talked about it, and we all had the same opinion.
That wasn't very good, huh?
And everyone else had the same opinion. The entire internet had the same. Like, you don't get to now come back 10 years my junior and be like, that movie's actually a masterpiece.
I will say, I do think the one place in which I agree with the naysayers or the revisionists in this point, specifically with Spider-Man 3, is that in comparison to a lot of movies that have come out lately, it is so different than what we usually get now. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember back when, like, you know, things were lit correctly.
Yeah.
Or like we got a little goofy. You know, we got a little goofy in our superhero movies.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all the same thing over and over and over again. I think that's what it is for the vast majority of people.
Yeah.
It's like,
and if you're coming at it from a we didn't know what we had till it was gone kind of thing, like, all right, I can see what you're saying because that trilogy of movies is a really fun trilogy.
It's great.
But to sit here and tell me that like Spider-Man 3 is better than anything the MCU has ever, and I've seen that opinion, by the way. I've seen people say that Sony's Spider-Man 3 is better than anything that the MCU has put out. When you say shit like that, it's like, how am I supposed to take you seriously? I'm not even a ride or die for the MCU.
Yeah.
You know? I can admit when they put out bad movies, and they put out bad movies.
Especially lately.
But don't sit up here and tell me that that Spider-Man 3... Even the director himself is like, nah, fuck that one up. So
Raimi has famously been anti-Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
You know, I thought this was a sweet story, though. Apparently, Raimi was in a screening of Spider-Man 3 recently. And I think a fan came in and was like, hey, you know, like, just wanted to say hi. Really love your work.
Yeah.
I really like Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
And he goes, you know what? Me too.
He watched it and like,
he came around to it, you know, like he said, essentially he's come to peace. That was the headline. Sam Raimi has finally come to peace with Spider-Man 3. So it's nice.
But the thing is, if you guys can have this opinion about Spider-Man 3, how long is it going to take you to get to multiverse?
Oh, yeah.
Because the multiverse of madness is awesome.
It's great, yeah.
And we said that day one.
Right.
So how long is it going to be before you guys come around to that? Because it's fucking irritating to wait 10 years before people go, you know what? That movie's actually kind of fucking awesome. Because it is. And when you guys finally come around to it, it's going to be too late. And you're going to get the fucking Russos directing Phase 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 because you guys always come to this shit too late.
You have to be okay with different things. And Sam Raimi has always been different.
It feels like they're okay with different once it's acceptable to be okay with different, not in the moment.
You got to be a little brave. You got to put your neck out there and go, I like this.
Right. And you're a
this
bunch
was
of
fun.
Cowards. Because again, now it's okay to say you don't like This Is America. But back when it came out, it would have been braver then for you to say this song actually kind of fucking sucks. And this video
and I love black people.
Right. I would have voted for Obama a third time. So it's you know, I don't have a problem with these opinions specifically. I have a problem with the timing of these opinions. And that's all.
I agree. I think it's you know what this tweet said. Herd mentality, man. That's
herd
all it is.
Mentality.
Yeah, on both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides of it. Herd mentality of if you said you liked it and you didn't. Herd mentality when you feel like it's safe to come out because someone else said that they don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me okay? Is that close enough? Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Just a little too close.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yes, exactly. So just don't, you know, don't get caught up in shit like that. You know, have an opinion, feel the way that you feel. Don't let other people tell you how to feel about something.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't catch you slipping up.
No, don't catch you slipping up. Don't catch you slipping up.
up.
I'm surprised he didn't put that on an album though.
Yeah.
I was surprised at the time. I was like, when's the album coming out? And then he put out like 3 random singles, and then he put out that album.
The album with no names.
No album title. No, and just timestamps for the track listing.
Insufferable.
And apparently, so insufferable. And apparently, this new album, he's working on 2 albums. One of them is the remastered version of Untitled, where he gives the songs titles. And
thank you.
And then the other album is the last Childish Gambino album. So that's apparently what this whole thing is. And it's like, it's just so people and I've talked to other people about this, like on online and stuff, like the reason that album has some really good songs on it.
Yeah,
but it's not well.
It's not gonna be found.
Yeah,
how can you find it? I like 6/18/35.
It's ridiculous, and it's such a like. And it's nothing to do with fans' capacity.
No, it's a head up your ass idea.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Don't do that.
And even he seems to know that, because to come back and now give it a title and remaster it and bring it back out.
He threw it out there to die.
Yeah.
Like, who does that?
Right.
He was high on his own supply.
Very much. I mean, and he always has been, though. That's the thing. People have been blowing smoke up Donald Glover's ass for almost his entire career. And that's why he puts out stuff like Camp. Yeah. And that's why he puts out Because of the Internet. And then people go, did you read the screenplay? He's a genius. It's like, that album is okay.
You know who never said that? Album. Chevy Chase.
He has said worse things.
He sure has.
All right. Let's switch and talk about the Switch. No. We're going to switch into
let's do Microsoft first.
Microsoft
I feel like ending on a happier note, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Xbox first.
Yeah.
So, I guess Xbox has been cleaning house.
Yeah, buddy.
With some of the and it's crazy that for the past couple of years, the 2 big gaming studios have been buying up all these small ones, and now they're gutting them. I don't understand it.
They buy them. They have them make one game. If the game doesn't live up to an unrealistic what's the word? Expectation. They immediately implode the studio and go, well, that didn't work. And it's just like it has been like a snake eating its own tail for the past 5 to 10 years.
Yeah,
it's been crazy.
So what's the latest?
So according to IGN, Microsoft closes Redfall developer Arcane Austin, Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks, and more in devastating cuts at Bethesda. Microsoft, this is according to Wesley Yinpool. Microsoft has closed a number of Bethesda studios, including Redfall maker Arcane Austin, which I think, Redfall was a humongous flop.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush and Evil Within developer Tango Gameworks. Hi-Fi Rush won multiple Game of the Year awards, multiple awards in general.
Yeah.
Is a fantastic. I played it myself. Fantastic game. And Evil Within was awesome.
Also well received.
1 and 2, very well received. And more in devastating cuts at Bethesda, IGN can confirm. Alpha Dog Games, maker of mobile game Mighty Doom, will also close. Roundhouse Studios will be absorbed by the Elder Scrolls Online developer ZeniMax Online Studios. Microsoft, currently valued at over $3 trillion.
Wow.
Did not say how many staff will lose their jobs, but significant layoffs are inevitable. IGN has asked Bethesda for comment. Microsoft declined to expand further when contacted by IGN.
Can you imagine working for a company worth $3 trillion and getting fired?
And you
getting laid off?
You get laid off because they can't allocate enough funds for you.
You'd never be able to. That would be it. That would be my 13th reason. I'd be a different person.
Yeah.
I'd be a different person.
In an email to staff sent by Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, Microsoft blamed the cuts on, quote, reprioritization of titles and resources. The email verified by IGN is below. I won't read through the entire thing. It's pretty long. But, yeah, I mean, basically they're saying they're shifting things around to make sense. And that does not include Tango Gameworks, even though they made an incredible game that made good money and was on Game Pass.
At this point, it doesn't matter, I guess.
It's mind-boggling. I don't get it. I don't get what developers can do to prove that they are worth having.
Just be a consistent moneymaker. That's it. The games don't even have to be good, as long as they keep making money.
But then what are you left with? You're left with the games Game to service games.
Live service.
Live service games.
Mm-hmm.
It's been shown that those are like 1 in a million shots of actually working.
Yeah.
I mean, when they work, they work. But when they don't, we're left with things that die immediately.
Yeah.
We're left with like the last Batman game.
Yeah.
Or no, it was Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
yes.
Live service game where nobody
Live
wanted
service
to play it.
looter shooter, where it's a game that is supposed to have like an infinite loop kind of
living world that you
Yeah.
can jump back into whenever you want, and something always is going to be updated and changed.
Yeah,
and,
but the game was made not so well,
Sure.
and not
and it
cared
wasn't
about.
what people wanted from that studio who
Yeah.
made the Arkham games.
Right.
And everyone's like, we want a single player Arkham style game again.
Yeah.
Like do that with another character.
And they just
or-
keep going. No. How about groups? How about silly zany stuff?
Right.
How about looter shooter? How about
You
it's
give
like,
us more money.
Yeah. How about you just give us more money? How about that?
What if you pay a subscription?
Yeah. What if you stop asking questions and you start paying money?
Yeah.
How about you shut up?
Right. So, I mean,
No, it feels like it feels like we're they're taking significantly less risk on smaller studios. Like you said, they'll buy one, let them do 1, maybe 2 games, and if it doesn't pan out, they're like, well, now we have those resources, we have the reputation of that. To be Microsoft, for instance, and to have bought Bethesda, for example, now you have the reputation of Bethesda. Now you can use that to your advantage or disadvantage, however you want to do it. And it's like Thanos. to go back to, it's like getting all the stones and being like, well, now I can do whatever the fuck I want with this thing.
yeah.
And
But it's then like trying one of the stones and then going, that wasn't what I wanted. And cracking it.
right. But at the end of the day, if you're not paying attention to this kind of stuff, then it's not even going to matter. And then people are going to continue to complain about the kind of video games that Microsoft puts out. And it's like, well, look at what they're doing. It's not like Microsoft is the only one doing this. They're not.
Oh, sure,
you know,
yeah. But they are the only one that is so vocal as being the game, not studio, but the console and the company for gamers.
Yeah.
That is gamer focused. That is for the players. That is like the one focused on doing the right thing for you guys.
Yeah. And it very clearly is not.
And they've painted themselves in this corner where they're trying to be the consumer focused, consumer conscious person or studio, and they are so clearly not.
Yeah.
When it comes to this kind of stuff, because
Yeah.
the people have spoken, especially with that. That's the thing is like, it's not even like Tango Gameworks could have done any better than they did.
Right.
They made a great game.
Made a great game that was well received, well marketed.
Was put on their own service and did incredibly well. Like, won a bunch of awards, and for all of that, what do they get? And not to mention, they are like, I think, one of the only Japanese studios that is under the Xbox banner.
Yeah.
And Xbox has commented before saying they have a vested interest in Japanese studios. They want to expand more into that because, and that's what people are asking now, because these actions speak louder than all the PR speak that you have beforehand. Like these actions speak louder than your words, man. Like, Phil Spencer, like, he is the epitome of good guy corpo, but when you see stuff like this happening right behind him, there's only so much he can do to calm the nerves of people who are predominantly Xbox gamers.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. Like, we all know this, man. Like, we mostly play on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Game Pass subscription because I have a PC, but like, it just sucks to see that this is happening because it's a complete waste of talent.
Yeah. And somebody like Phil Spencer, for instance, is going to be, he's like you said, like the poster boy of being like a good corporate guy. But the thing is, And I don't know how many times you need to be stabbed in the back by these corporations before you guys start to realize, like, none of them have our best interests at heart. They do not care. They come out with stuff and it works. They make video games that people like, but at the end of the day, it's like, if it doesn't make any money, fuck it. And if it does make money, they're like, well, maybe it didn't make enough money.
Yeah.
It's like, it just doesn't matter to them. With Helldivers.
Oh, yeah.
Another example in
Forgot
which
all about
the
that,
corporation stabs himself in the foot by just being like, well, how can we make more money? How can we make this a thing that is just ours? How can we, manipulate the goodwill that we have? And that's kind of what I was talking about with the Bethesda thing, like Microsoft just being able to manipulate goodwill by having these studios.
Sure.
Helldivers, made by Arrowhead, just recently had an update, or were planning an update, where they were going to force all of their user base to have a PSN account.
Profile, yeah.
And this was resoundingly, vehemently, and immediately rejected by the fan base. Even people who were already playing on PlayStation, because it was like that, well, that's not fair to pretty much 85% of the world. And then I realized that, or not realized, but found out through investigating this, that 177 countries don't have access to a PlayStation or a PSN.
Yeah.
You're effectively cutting out 85% of availability for your video game. And for what?
Just because it was part of the plan.
It was always part of the plan.
That's all I think. That's why I think about that entire situation. Is just like, they had a roadmap, and that included pushing everyone to a PSN account.
They should have just done it from the jump.
Yeah. Well,
It's very...
it got delayed. It got delayed because of technical difficulties.
They should have told people, man.
And that was the best mistake for them.
Yeah.
Because the fact that it was delayed allowed all of these PC players to completely embrace it.
Yeah.
To embrace the game, the memes, to really make it their own, and then to come around. And I understand that, like, this was in the fine print the entire time. It was always part of the plan. It was always something that they had planned on doing. But even so, you see, and you know the ramifications of enforcing this, and yet you still move forward with it. It's like you're shooting yourself in the foot.
It's not a good look.
And they realized.
Yeah. Oh, did they realize?
And after getting review bombed and, getting completely lashed online.
Doing irreparable damage to the reputation of the game and the developer, which,
Sure.
like, Arrowhead is like, what the fuck?
It's not us. Please stop.
Finally, Sony was like, our bad. We'll figure out a way around this. We're not going to push this up.
And you know what's messed up that I heard about today? Apparently, the community manager of some kind at Arrowhead got fired because he recommended review bombing.
Oh, yeah, well.
Until they changed it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, hey, he died on his shield, right?
He did.
He
did.
Credit to this guy.
Yeah,
but you kind of have to expect that was going to happen.
You got to kiss the ring, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Or at least just be quiet. Or just be ready for this, because this is exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sony, though, makes a martyr out of this guy now, because he very clearly is.
That's why I said it's messed up,
like
because like the perception now is that Sony had him fired.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's essentially a hit job from the big boss,
Yeah. No,
But,
I mean, and the thing is, like, you can't escape the evil practices of these corporations, and so it sucks, because it's like, fuck, I mean, what am I going to do? Not have a PlayStation, or not have an Xbox, or not have a PC? But you have to, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not saying that you have to accept these, because this showed the power of the real power of the gamer, not fucking Xbox and Phil Spencer and all these people saying, like, the power is in your hands. No, this campaign against what Sony was trying to do with Helldivers really did show the real power of the game. When everybody puts their heads together and go, this is a concerted effort. Ironically, that's what Helldivers is all about.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's the presumed power of the consumer in a world in which we're living in a consumerist culture.
Yeah.
So if we are the reason why these companies can flourish, then instead of them thinking they know better than us, we are the ultimate deciders of that by, again, as we've said forever, voting with your wallet.
Vote with your wallet.
And being loud when something pisses you off.
With your wallet. Something that is not pissing me off, though, is the exciting news that there is going to be a new Nintendo console.
Yes.
Right?
The successor of the Switch, as they've called it.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
Because I really thought that they had kind of just mastered it with the Switch. I kind of was like, where do you go from here?
It is by far the least powerful console out there currently.
Yeah.
It's been out for, what has it been, like 10 years?
The Switch?
Yeah.
Has it been 10 years?
I'm going to look it up.
That's crazy.
Let's see.
It can't be 10 years.
No, it's probably more like 8. I'm walking it back. Let's say 8. I'm going to say 8. What do you say? What do you say?
I'm going to say 6.
Switch announce. Nope. Switch debut date. 2017. So
3, 4, 7 years.
7 years. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry for scaring everybody.
It
feels like 10
8,
years.
I went to 6, so we
split the difference. Yeah. But yeah, it's been long. It's been long enough for generally a new generation cycle to begin.
Usually it'd be coming out now.
Yeah,
not announced now.
And people are saying that it's going to be announced this year and probably come out sometime next year.
I think you just make a more powerful Switch.
And I have to agree. There's been speculation going on that they are going to make like a slightly bigger screen. They're going to make the controllers obviously like more receptive, better, and also magnetized. So they just
that's sick.
Switch on.
That'd be cool. Have to fucking slot them in like a gun.
Right. And there's been a lot of people obviously pushing for backwards compatibility. And because that's been a kind of a staple of
compatibility.
Well, it's been a staple of Nintendo's consoles for a long time. Is like making sure that you can play your old stuff or transfer over like your Nintendo games that you've downloaded. Remember back when they had like the Nintendo eShop?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone got so angry when that got killed.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
I hope that they learn from that lesson and are like, okay, anything you've downloaded, you can still play on your new Switch. Yeah. Let's say Switch 2.
You know what's funny is like Nintendo being like the little brother in this conversation of the console wars, and kind of like swooping in and being like, we're going to make a new Switch, and everyone's like, oh, that's awesome. Nintendo is like notoriously anti-consumer too. So let's not pretend like this is good news. I'm happy about this.
They're not any better though.
Yeah, let's hope, like you said, that they have learned from their mistakes because they have done some shit that I'm just like, I don't understand. Do you not want me to buy this? Yeah. Are you actively telling me to not buy this? Because it feels like you don't want me to buy this.
The one thing I will say about Nintendo is that I respect about them as a corporation is that they've never been afraid of trying something weird.
Yeah.
So they kind of dare the consumer to buy it.
Yeah.
In a lot of instances. And 9 times out of 10, it works out.
All right. So what do we want from it, though?
I want a bigger screen. I want parity at least with the PS5.
Oh.
I want it to be up to standard with the PS5.
Okay. Yeah.
I think... Sure, I would love it to be like, whatever a PS5 Pro is going to be eventually. Mm-hmm. I'd love it to be the top notch, the highest tier.
It ain't going to be that.
It's not going to be that, but I would rather sacrifice that to have it mobile still.
Yeah.
And to have the port still and all of that still work the way it does currently. I would love a better controller that is more ergonomic.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
And other than that, I mean, I just hope that they continue to make like really good exclusives.
Yeah.
I think that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
You know, make like a really, really good Zelda.
Yeah.
Make a really good Metroid.
New
you know,
Smash.
like yeah. Oh,
New Smash.
New Smash. That's an entire other conversation. Though. Like, what would you want from a new Smash?
Yeah.
Because Ultimate is Ultimate. Yeah,
There's
it's everything you could ever want.
More characters, I guess.
Not even like, how could you? There are too many characters as it is.
That's true. Yeah, and I mean,
And how do you evolve that? How do you make it better? Let's not go down that road yet.
Yeah, it's another conversation.
What do you want? What would you like from a new Switch?
I really like what you said about the controller. At this point, I feel like Nintendo has gotten away with way too many bad controllers because we just go, oh, well, that's just how it goes, and you just play with the little... Dude, Andy and I were playing Luigi's Mansion the other night.
Yeah.
And we were playing with just the... Because I was Gooigi and they were Luigi. And,
I was about to ask.
Yeah. So we were
Who is
playing...
Gooigi?
So we didn't do... Because two of the Joy-Cons had died, so we were just using the little Joy-Cons. And let me tell you something, okay? There is... I am flabbergasted at the fact that that's an acceptable way to play the game. I know people who play the Switch, I mean, Andy included, who play the Switch a lot enough that they don't think about how awful that is.
Especially this when you have to play it sideways.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When you have to take one Joy-Con, flip it horizontally, and use that as the controller.
Yeah. Terrible.
I mean, yeah, just a horrendous way to play a video game, and to be like, yeah, what? I mean, just, why not? Just flip it horizontally.
Yet
and then
still ingenious for its time.
I
You have one console. You immediately have two controllers. You can play with your kid. You can play with your significant other.
Make me say bad words because it makes me angry.
Okay.
The Joy-Cons make me angry.
Yeah.
Not only that, but they're built poorly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's been infamous. Yeah.
Everybody. I've actually gotten lucky. My
stick
Joy-Cons, they don't drift. But
Yeah.
everyone that I know has stick.
I had to send in 4 different ones
See?
to get fixed.
So you know what I want is a controller that is
That
comparable with Xbox and PlayStation, where we can finally again have a debate on who makes the best controller.
So essentially a new Pro controller.
Yes, a Pro controller that is dedicated to the game. I want it in the box. I don't want to have to buy a peripheral.
Okay.
I want
Included.
it in the box.
Yeah.
That's honestly my biggest pet peeve is the fact that I have to buy all this other shit to make this shit work.
Sure.
If I'm playing on the TV, I know they give you the little like little
the
fighter jet thing that you can
thing,
just and that thing's cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm not mad at that. It's cool.
You could at least charge your remotes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What
Your
the
Joy-Con.
fuck?
Yeah.
Why is it just this piece of plastic that holds it? Why doesn't it have a chip in it to just keep it charged?
Yeah, you should be able to charge that and then plug your Joy-Con into it to charge.
How is that?
Money.
Yeah,
money.
and that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because if I'm paying money for this console, then I shouldn't have to buy another piece to get this thing to work.
Sure.
You have people who love Super Smash Brothers, for instance. So what do you give to the people who love Super Smash Bros? Buy the Super Smash Brothers controller, which is just the GameCube controller. Oh, but you know what? You can't just plug it into the Switch. You have to buy a peripheral to plug into that. So an adapter to plug the peripheral in. Now you can play the game that you want to play with the controller that you want. No. Enough.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah.
That's where they lag behind. In my opinion,
they may see that as a plus for them because it keeps people buying their stuff.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure from a capitalistic standpoint, they're like, why should we do that when we know you're going to buy the peripheral and the adapter?
But you're going to buy it, aren't you?
Because I did. That's the thing.
Oh, I did too.
I have a Pro controller. I have the GameCube controller.
I did too, and I don't even play competitively.
Yeah.
I just like to play the game. It's fun.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
And it's better to play it with that controller.
It feels better.
I have 2 of them, actually.
Oh.
And that's the thing. They know that we're going to do it. And that's the fucking problem. But if we're talking about what, wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I would like a competitive controller in the box.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I'm not so concerned with the graphics and the power of the Switch being comparable to the two other guys, because I've always viewed Nintendo as like the little brother.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't like being viewed that way.
I mean,
and
they have
maybe-
been since the 64, really.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. So I have just come to know that, like, graphically, it's not going to be the most powerful. I'm okay with
It's
all
fine.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
fine
yeah.
with that.
It's fine.
Backwards compatibility. I like the idea of them putting games on their service that you can just go in and download. I don't want to have to pay full price for an N64 game.
Sure.
But
But, you know, with like their online service, where as long as you pay for that, you can play this whole library of...
Their online service needs to be revamped completely. The fact that, like, I don't think I don't still think that you have to use other means to even talk to people online.
Oh, you're talking about that. I was talking about the emulators.
No.
essentially going into
I
it.
know what. Yeah. No, I meant their entire service. The whole thing needs to
But
be
I don't-
redone from the ground up.
I don't think they're going to do that, because they do see themselves as predominantly being a family console, which is also why I don't think we're going to get like cutting edge graphics, because they know kids don't give a shit. And we're looking more for like price point, accessibility, getting as many people in as possible.
Yeah. Given all that, I still think that a bigger screen, graphics should be at least comparable to the PS4.
Five.
I meant PS4.
What?
PS4 or early stage PS5.
Uh-huh.
That's not going to be as good as the Pro. It just won't be. It just won't be.
Hopes.
You have to accept that. It just
Yeah.
won't be as good as the PS5 Pro.
What if Nintendo swerves on us and comes out with like the highest level console and is like, this is our new N64.
Well,
We're gonna break brains right now.
well, then you'd have to come out with something that's not just like, and here's
Mario!
Worldwide. It's like,
Whoa!
yeah, he's like,
Look
all
at
right.
his pores.
Look at the sweat from that fat Italian.
Zoom in on that mustache. Wow.
It's me, Mario. It's Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's gonna be what did it say? April, next April. Is when we get the
within the
official-
next something year. I wrote it down.
Okay.
Everyone relax.
All right, he wrote it down.
Everyone
He
relax.
wrote it down.
He wrote it down.
down.
He wrote it down. Everyone settle down.
He wrote it down.
He wrote it down.
He put it on a piece
Next
of paper. He wrote
fiscal
it down.
year.
The next fiscal year.
Which is April to April. So from April of this year to April of next
He
year,
wrote it down.
we will be getting an announcement. So after that, you know, we'll see when they say it's actually going to come out. But I would assume probably late next year.
Yeah.
I would assume as much, if not early the following.
Yeah. All right. Well, while we speculate and wait for that, the last thing that we can do is give our cheers of the week on this podcast.
That's right.
So let's do that. Obi, what's your cheers going to, my friend?
My cheers of the week goes to Steve Albini.
Steve Albini. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Steve Albini, out of the blue, passed away in his 60s. Yeah, completely surprised.
Yeah.
Probably most famous for being a producer, but he also was the lead for Shellac and Big Black,
Yeah.
and produced for the Pixies.
Who I just started getting into, ironically enough, Big Black.
Oh yeah,
And never really listened to either one of those bands, but just had like passively just kind of, and then yeah,
it's your fault.
yeah, I came to it late, and maybe yeah, that was maybe my fault. It's like
You cursed the man.
wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
Stop listening to people. Yeah, but famous for producing for Pixies, PJ Harvey, and Nirvana. I mean, just if you've heard anything from that era, I would say it the best stuff was probably produced by Steve Albini.
Yeah.
And just seems like a general all-around great guy. One of the few good guys in the music industry. Famously didn't take what's it called when you earn a profit from every sale? Commission. Thank you, Sherry. Didn't take commission on the Nirvana record because he felt like that was a bad practice in general in the music industry. He just asked for money up front and to do the record, but he's like, he talked about this on Conan actually.
Yeah.
And the surviving Nirvana band members were in there too, and he explained like, yeah, I think it's so unethical that these artists, I'm taking however much money I'm making from each of these sales out of their pockets, and they're the ones who did the thing. Yeah, like I'm just helping them record it essentially and make it sound good. Yeah, but like they're doing it, like they're the people who deserve the money. Yeah. It's like, who do you find in the music industry with that sort of...
With ethics?
With those ethics. Unbelievable. I think of one of a kind of guy. And, the music industry will miss him dearly. Yeah. Go back and listen to everything he's produced, and obviously stuff from Shellac and Big Black. Highly recommend.
Right on.
R.I.P.
Right on. My cheers of the week is going to... Instagram ads.
Oh, okay.
When they first started popping up, you get like the ads that you get on Twitter now, because Elon has ruined the app so much that the only people that can advertise is like the My Pillow guy and then like people who steal products from other people.
What's his name? The guy that just eats raw meat.
Oh yeah, the Liver King.
Liver King, yeah.
I had to block him. I blocked him because it's like it's too much. I can't.
Every single time you scroll.
Yeah. So
Primal.
Instagram used to look like that, and you would get something off of there, and it would come, and you'd be like, oh, well, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my whole life, and I just got, and
it comes in a month.
Yeah,
and then you're like,
and it's just in like a freeze dried bag, and you open it up, and you're like, oh, this isn't the size that I ordered. I one time ordered shirts on Instagram, and I shit you not, I got like 4 or 5 shirts. 2 of them were women's shirts, and then 3 of them were the wrong size.
To sneak this.
It was right.
Calling you a lady.
We know what you want. I shit you not, every single shirt did not fit for varying reasons. I gave 2 of them to my sister, the 2 woman sizes I gave to my sister, and the rest of them, they just live in a bag somewhere. But not anymore. I will say that some stuff that I've been seeing on these Instagram ads lately, and I hate to compliment capitalism.
There's been some good stuff.
There's been some good stuff. This hat that I'm wearing,
it's a nice hat. I was going to comment on it. Yeah.
From Selly Hockey. Just randomly stumbled on it, and I was like, "That's fire!" Yeah. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and order that. And I have like 3 hats that are just Instagram ads.
I saw your Monaco one.
The Monaco one is also an Instagram ad. I have some clothes that are some Instagram. The shirt that I wore last week, actually. If you go back and watch that episode, it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza shop parody T-shirt or long sleeve shirt. That was an Instagram ad. So, kind of have to give props where they're due. Some shit on there now is like it's.
The internet's a flea market.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, since stores, I hate it. I hate it so much because it's happening to every industry, and I hate to be a part of it. But at the same time, it's like when I go to the store and you guys are a season behind on styles, you don't have the right sizes. I have to go there and go, oh, you don't have my pant length. I have to take these pants to the tailor and get all this shit done. So now I have to pay you X amount of dollars for these pants, and then I got to go to the tailor and get them cut up to fit me.
They're not right the first time.
Exactly. Yeah. Or these Instagram ads and online stores that are like, hey, listen, we'll cut those pants up for you before they even get to you. How can you compete?
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to go on Amazon and buy like Amazon Essentials. Those fucking suck.
Yeah,
but
no, you
other
don't want that.
businesses that are predominantly online, that are cutting the middleman of going to like a Dillard's or like a department store or whatever, you have to start competing or you're going to lose.
Sure.
And it's
they're
not
not drop shippers either. Like Twitter, you get a bunch of drop shippers that are like, giving you some knockoff bullshit.
Yeah. But these people are making good products.
Yeah.
Good products that cost enough money that I go, you know what? I spent money on this. When it gets to me, I hope it's high quality because I spent money on this quality. And 9 times out of 10 lately, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. So it's been weird. But yeah, Instagram, I think, is probably one of the more above board of the ads.
Yeah. It's as shitty as that
weird,
sounds.
weird to say, yeah.
It's weird to say, but I
True.
I haven't been burned in a while.
Yeah, agreed.
So I hate to do it, but like,
okay.
you're telling me this hat's not fresh. You telling me this hat doesn't look good. And
not
only that, but look at the fit on it. Like,
yeah.
it I didn't have to do any adjusting. It just out the box fit perfectly.
Yeah. Good height. Yeah.
Doesn't like come off your head too much.
Nice shape.
You know?
Good
just
build.
kind of hugs.
Yeah.
Just kind of hugs the skull.
Yeah.
But it's not too tight. Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's do one last thing, kids. You know what it is. You know where we are. It's the end of the show, and it's time for the review. So, this is the Space Cowboy. The Space Cowboy. Hazy Double IPA from Crooked Can Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Obi, what'd you think?
It's pretty good. I like it. Didn't really like go above and beyond for me.
Yeah.
It is what it says it is, which is a hazy.
It is
double IPA.
Said it is.
Now I will say it doesn't have all those notes. I didn't get all those notes. I got the thing that was predominant for me, especially upon first sip, was the citrus.
Yeah.
Very citrus peel. I get a lot of that like citrus zest.
Yeah.
Which is pleasant. I actually really like that. But I do have to dock points for them explaining this entire juicy concoction.
Pineapple, guava, papaya, and citrus.
Don't get that. I don't get that. I'm sorry.
No.
I personally, my palate, maybe it's too dull, but I don't get all those flavors.
Yeah.
I think it's a good ABV, not too boozy, but I think the thing I don't like about it as much is that it does that thing that some IPAs do, which is like hit you in the back of your throat with like a bit of almost like a acidy tone to it, which I'm not the biggest fan of.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4. I think it's good, not great,
Okay.
but I would have it again.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I've had better from Crooked Can, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
So check it out.
I can't. I mean, I know that I've had some good beers from Crooked Can, so it's not like me saying like I don't think I've had anything great from them. But yes, a very, very decent double IPA. I'm also going to give a 4. Not mind blowing. Not too citrusy that it's like, just like, blech.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like hazy, citrusy, like, that's too much.
Yeah.
That bitterness, like you're saying, kind of on the back end, that's almost acidic, is a little bit of a turnoff. The initial flavor is a well-balanced citrus note.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you don't get the individual. I mean, far be it for me to say that it's bullshit, but pineapple, guava, papaya, and citrus, dude. I mean, you're really kind of setting yourself up there. Like, I'm not getting any of the. I'm getting the citrus. So maybe just.
I could say like tropical citrus, maybe.
Tropical citrus is a good way to just be like, it's going to be citrusy and you're going to get these kind of like tropical notes. But to say pineapple, guava, papaya.
No, sir.
No.
I'm sorry, Andy, Alan, and Todd.
Yeah.
But
mostly Todd.
Especially Todd.
So, unanimous 4.
Yes.
Do you think we got it?
Absolutely.
Well, if Obi says we got it, then that means tonight, it's over. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What?
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful week.
I love you. He doesn't. I do.
I love you.
Lost to be found.